We're checking in with the Connecticut's capital city chief. Mayor Pedro Segarra is here to tell us about the fight to keep Hartford healthy. Also, some lawmakers want to slam the brakes on a busway from New Britain to Hartford, but others say it's the road we need to go down. And what will you do this coming Earth Day to go green? We're going to have some ideas for you coming up. Hi, you're watching The Real Story. I'm Lori Perez. As Connecticut grapples with a monstrous budget deficit and the governor makes the rounds defending his plan to close it, local leaders are bracing for any possible domino effect, none more so perhaps than our next guest, Mayor of the capital city, Mayor Pedro Segarra. Thanks, Mayor, for being here.
Thank you for inviting me, Lori.
Also joining us is reporter Jenna Carlessa, who covers Hartford for The Current. Thanks, Jenna.
Thanks for having me.
Mayor, if we could start off with just giving us an idea of what is Hartford's budget situation?
The budget situation is that we've rounded up the council and they've given their advice and suggestions as to what this budget should look like by way of what's important. We've had also a town hall meeting at which residents came prior to my submission of the budget. Today, Sunday, we should be finalizing the budget, and on the 18th we present it. I think we're in good shape. We've done, in this budget, there's going to be some mergers. There's going to be some creative use of existing staff. I don't want to lay off any police. I don't want to lay off any firemen. Fire persons. So we're getting there. And we also don't want to see any tax increases. So we're working very hard. We were initially faced with a $40 million deficit, and we're paring that down. And if we keep on working hard, we could hopefully have a budget that doesn't increase a mill rate. But it's a challenge to get there.
I bet. So you say you don't want to lay off any police or fire. I mean, is that a reality? I mean, will you not?
I will definitely not lay off any police or fire. And actually, I would like to increase the amount of public works personnel to do a better job at taking care of our streets and our roads and our parks. That's very important. The public has demanded that, and I think that they're entitled to that. So we're going to try to be a little bit creative and build up that department as well.
Right. So what have been the most difficult cuts that you've had to propose?
Oh, the most difficult cuts basically in the area of health and pension benefits, trying to be creative in terms of creating savings. Most of the leverage that we've gotten in this budget has been by making creative use of resources and also by trying to create ways that we can generate savings. If we get on the state prescription plan, that's close to $2 million in savings. We've made some downsizing. That's generated a lot of savings in terms of not having to refill positions and avoid layoffs in the process. So there's been just a lot of shifting of resources and just more creative use of what we have.
Right. Jenna?
Yeah, I was curious. The last time I think we had checked in, the deficit was at about $7 million. Can you talk at all about where it stands and how you're bringing it down?
We're close to bringing that down to zero. We expect that by the time that the budget goes to council, that we would have resolved the deficit, but more importantly, that we have restored proper funding to the internal service accounts, which are very important, health and pension. So I'm hoping to also reconcile that deficit as well. Again, it's been a challenge. It's required weekly meetings, sometimes 2 and 3 meetings, to make sure that we track expenses, track savings, and always look for ways to bring in more revenue. The Parking Authority is bringing in about $300,000 or more with the amnesty program. We have other programs that we're going to institute, so we plan to reconcile that deficit. But it comes at a loss of personnel. So we're just trying to make sure that in the process we don't reduce services, which are very important.
I mean, are you worried about that? I mean, are people going to feel the reduction in personnel? I mean, if they go somewhere, are they going to wait in line a little longer? Or?
Not in the critical areas. Not in the critical areas. In terms of police, fire, public works, and the critical areas where I think that there's a public expectation that they receive a service, we're not going to reduce. In fact, I'm going to add a fire class, I'm going to add a police class, and I'm going to add staff to the public works department, still working within the confines of the numbers that will not allow for a mill rate increase. Now, having said that, we're not at that point yet. We're not at the point of a no mill rate increase. But we started at a mill rate increase potentially when we had the $40 million deficit of 15, 16 mills. And I think that right now we're probably in the 2 mill range, and we're working to get that down as quickly as possible.
A little over a week ago, you had your town meeting, and you solicited public input on balancing your budget. How heavily will you weigh those that feedback that you got at the meeting?
I think it's gonna weigh heavily. I think that council has, for the past couple of years, been concerned about trying to merge areas that create economies. I think that council has been also voicing the fact that they do not want a mill rate increase. That's important. I think that they've also indicated that they want us to do the best at being creative with new ideas. Also trying to get new sources of revenue. So we're going to do the best we can, and I will incorporate not only council's idea, but more importantly the public's suggestion that of areas that are critical to them.
How difficult has it been for you to try to formulate a budget without knowing really the specifics of what's going to happen with the state budget?
That's a challenge. That's a challenge. We are doing our budget based on what we understand to be the current level of financing based on the governor's budget and also on what we have historically gotten in terms of revenue. So it's a challenge, but we're using the latest information, and I just hope that we don't have any big surprises along the way.
Right. I know that obviously the union negotiations that the governor's involved with are the hot topic. I mean, you have your own union talks going. I mean, what do you need from them, from city workers?
I think first to be transparent to them, to let them know exactly where we're at, to let them know that our citizens, our residents are expecting quality services and that we have a responsibility to provide that. So I'm expecting from the unions to always have an open, ongoing dialogue so that any issues that are concerned to the unions and to our residents are dealt with in a fair and balanced way. They've been very helpful. The unions have been very helpful in terms of adopting the state prescription program to generate savings. And I expect that at some point or another I might have to go to them to get some collaboration. But I think that it's going to be done in an honest and in a fair and a very transparent way.
Right.
You're also in the middle of campaigning for the 2011 fall election.
Yes.
Could you talk at all about your strategies and fundraising and getting the word out? I'm
just going to talk to as many people as I can. I hope that people have seen what I am capable of producing through hard work, through collaboration, through transparency, and that once people see the work that has been done and the work that I can potentially do in the future, that they will join on board and that it becomes a positive, transparent campaign. And I think that a lot of people have expressed interest in volunteering and donating. We only started fundraising really about 4 weeks ago, and in 3 weeks we raised about $80,000. So I think we're on a good track, and I think that more people have shown a willingness to get involved, which is even more important.
Do you see any one particular person as a strong competitor in this race?
I think pretty much at this point the Wooden campaign has raised substantial funds, but I don't take anyone for granted. It should be about ideas. It should be about what options people are being offered. So it shouldn't necessarily be about the money. I think that ideas and commitment to work and people's track record and what people have done in the past for the community, all those things are important.
All right. Well, we thank you for stopping by, Mayor Pedro Segarra of Hartford.
You.
Thanks a lot. And Jenna Carlessa, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Governor Malloy says it's time to get on the bus, but not everyone is ready to buy a ticket.